This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing, but it's a thing we want you to tune into every Saturday afternoon. I'm Elsa McGee, your host, doing the same thing I've been doing ever since we tried to start the show, trying to make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA and the USA with the plight of veterans. I'm here today with a special co-host. Brother have been with us with the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam Memorial Task Force and has helped us get to where we're at today. With the renderings, you know, when you get in Piedmont Park and you get to see this marvelous memorial that we are doing for our local heroes, you think about Dr. Pollard. He has been the pillar behind getting us moving and helping us with this project. So, Doc, thank you for coming today. Thank you for what all you do.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
It's just we're still waiting on Anthony, our detail man, and our other co-hosts. But we just gonna get started because see, this is Memorial Day month for the show, for the organization, and for all veterans in the United States of America and elsewhere. This month we are celebrating and remembering those who gave all. All gave some gave all. Well, we want to remember those that gave all this month and make sure that our communities don't forget them and what they did and why they did it. Because America is still the best country on planet Earth. We just got a lot of work to do. And we're going to do it with the help of brothers like Dr. Pollard, and we got some people in the studio, veterans. This is veterans talking to veterans in the community. So we got veterans in the studio. We got Kenny, who is one of our regulars, and then we got a new member with us today. Also, Larry is with us, and we just gonna get started with the show. We want you to remember this. If you don't remember anything else from this month, is that freedom is not free. The price of freedom is paid by those that serve in the U.S. military. All of them are not rendered disabled by their military service. Matter of fact, less than 5% of people that ever serve in the U.S. military ever use VA disabilities. So it's not a crisis situation. It is a situation of honor and trust, and keeping this sacred pledge to veterans about their benefits. So that's what this show is all about, talking to veterans in the community, because those benefits were meant for the veteran, his family, and the community. Now, if we get all those benefits, we would have homeless veterans, and we wouldn't have veterans almost homeless. We would have veterans getting their home loan benefits and their business benefits doing excellent in this economy. But that's not the case. So that's why we have Vietnam Veterans of America, the American Legion, and all of these veteran service organizations in your community. So I'm going to say this. Join a veteran service organization. Support one, whether it's Vietnam Veterans of America, American Legion, DAV, Wounded Warriors. Just get involved with one of these organizations so that we can make sure that those who carried the burden of service are taken care of as this nation has promised them to be. Now we're gonna move forward a little bit now, because we want to look at some stuff that Brother Michael has been doing for us with the Vietnam Veterans Vietnam War Memorial Project. And we got this project up. You can go online and you should see it across the screen. It's sonsofatlanta.org, sonsofatlanta.org. And you can do us a favor by looking at the faces first. The 240 soldiers that we are celebrating are from 8 different cities in Fulton County. So we're saying this is a call to unity for all of these cities to come together and honor their sons. But before we can complete this project, with the help of Atlanta, we are on our way. But we got one detail that we want to make available to the public. And we're going to let Brother Michael tell us what that is, the bricks.
All right. So quick story here. So, Reverend McGee, through another, counterpart of ours, the facilitator, Jonathan Rosser, he introduced me to Reverend McGee. And Reverend McGee was looking for someone to actually pull together this rendering. We had this grand idea of what we wanted this memorial to look like. But for all intents and purposes, I understood that it was stonewalled a little bit, and we just had difficulty getting it forward. So, I met with Reverend McGee. We had a couple phone calls, and I said, you know what? I got just the people to do this. So I recruited my daughter, and she recruited a classmate of hers. They were both in architecture class together at Kennesaw State. So Assad Dubose, Whitney Paulus, they both came forward, and they gave us a platform by which we could actually get this project, up and running. So they worked tirelessly, several revisions back and forth, a lot of phone calls, several calls a day. Okay, but in the end, we came up with something that was pleasing to everyone on the task force, and we just took it and ran with it. And I just got to say that it was an honor working with the team. Now, here's the trick, and Reverend McGee is going to tell you to get connected with a veteran service organization. But I'm going to tell you one thing. So I signed up for this rendering, right? Helping my daughter and her classmate, and the next thing you know, I'm 2 feet in, and I've been with this team ever since. Then I just can't let it go. So I've got to say, it's been an honor to just be in the presence of all of these fine men that they've just served our country so well, and they just deserve that recognition and that honor. And it's a pleasure for me to just have the opportunity to be around such great people. Anthony, thank you for being here today.
Even though I'm running a little late.
That's okay. Better late than never.
Better late than never, yes.
Yeah. So I do want to just take a moment to talk about the Brickathon. So and when I talk about going in with both feet, just understand something. So I saw where this was headed, and I said, okay, we got this rendering, we got the attention of the people in government that need to see this, we've got each and every stakeholder involved in this process. What do we want to do next? So I offered up my services, and I said, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a televised Brickathon. It's going to be a telethon, but I'm going to use my Zoom account, and let's pull people together and have some recordings and so on and so forth. Use social media and all those different platforms to actually get the community involved and get the news out about this fundraising for this memorial. So great idea. We've actually had 2. We're getting ready to do a 3rd as we're heading into the Memorial Day weekend at the end of the month. And some great things have transpired over the course of this relationship. It's been about just over a year, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Just over a year. Man, I got to tell you, it's been an awesome ride. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would, without hesitation. So it's kind of like I was listening to veterans talk last week, and a couple of the service members basically said if they actually had to go to war again, they would, without hesitation. So that's how committed this team is, and that's how I'm committed to this project. So we did televised sessions, and in addition to that, we actually had what's called a Brickathon, and the Brickathon is a telethon, and the objective is to get our listening audience members to solicit their family members, friends, corporations that they work for to get involved with this historic monument. Okay, this is going to be a monument unlike any other. I think about the only one that's going to come close to it is probably going to be the one in Washington D.C. by the time we're done with it, because it is just it's just phenomenal. One feature that I got to talk about real quick, and then we're going to get on to business here, is that you've got 2 things that you can look forward to. So you'll actually be able to go to the memorial and visit it. However, if you're ever flying into Atlanta by airplane and you're flying over Hartsfield, and if that pilot is actually going to be making an approach coming from the east towards the west, and before he makes that turn over Stonecrest Mall, he gets into that approach pattern, okay? You'll be able to look out your window on the right side and see Piedmont Park. You'll be able to see that memorial from the sky. So I cheated a little bit. I stuck that one in a little bit later on, but that's how awesome this is going to be. And I'm really looking forward to groundbreaking and the erection of the monument and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, I digress. So, the Brickathon. Let me just say this. Visit sonsofatlanta.org. Okay? Go to the commemorative brick campaign. It's a link on there, commemorative brick campaign. And once you're on that page, you have different price points for your bricks. Okay? Entry level is $100. The top level is $1,000. Okay? And that's based on how many lines you actually want to have on the actual brick itself. Now, let me say this. You are going to buy the brick, okay? And after you buy the brick, there's a second feature on there that says customize the brick or add to cart. So once you actually purchase the brick, after you add to cart and you make your purchase, and then you click on the second link, that's where you put the information for your inscription on the website, okay? So once you make the purchase, it's going to give you what's called an order number. It's a 5-digit number, okay? You need that order number so you can use it on the second link, and that will tell the individuals who are going to be putting the inscriptions on the bricks how you want that text to appear on the brick, okay? So I will tell you this much. I've gotten 5 family members, and I can't tell you how many, at least 5. I think it's more than 5 at this point. No, it's more than 5. And then I've got a whole bunch of other folks who have just made donations to the cause. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you to get involved. This is an exciting thing. We've got the renderings on the gallery on the website. You'll be able to see that. A lot of press, a lot of activities, but nonetheless, the key message to be sent as a result of all of these efforts is that despite what you see going on in the world today, despite what you see going on in America today, freedom is not free. Okay? And if I say something wrong, I got 2 gentlemen on either side of me that's going to probably hit the dirt out of me, but I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want to dishonor what our veterans have fought for. And as a result of that, we need to pay attention to who we vote for. We need to pay attention to who we put in office, what they say, and what they're doing to this country, and what they're doing for our country and our veterans. Okay, so I do not want that to be overshadowed by any stretch of the imagination. These are serious times, okay? The gentleman that flanked me and the folks that are in this office and so many of you who are listening to this program, you have fought for our democracy. It would be a shame for us to let that go because of a couple of fringe elements in our society that want to see democracy destroyed, okay? Those who have sacrificed, who have given so much, okay? Right, so with that in mind, with that somber moment in mind, we're going to move on to more exciting things right now. So I thank you for that opportunity to introduce this campaign. I do want to make a couple of other quick mentions. On your commemorative brick, okay, please maintain that each line can hold up to 13 characters, or is it 14? 20 characters.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 20 characters on each line. So when you actually put your inscription request through on the website, I want you to pay attention to how many characters you're actually putting per line. Okay, so you may just want to put your name, and if you're a service member but you did not fight in the Vietnam War, you can also buy a brick. You can include your rank, you can include your service unit, all of these different things. So there's no limit at this point in time, right? So we just thank you for honoring the veterans. We thank you for all that you're doing. We want to make this a very successful campaign. It is a successful campaign.
Yes.
All right?
Yes,
it is a successful campaign. And we just thank all of you for participating and being a part of this overall program. So just thank you so much. All right.
Michael, that's a good introduction to something that I think Fulton County residents, and especially the capital of Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia, has had a track record in being proactive to social change. You know, we were the headquarters for the civil rights movement.
That's correct.
And now I think we want to become the headquarters for the Save the Democracy movement. We recognize that families, you know, one reason we want to make this memorial local, right? The Sons of Atlanta. We want the military service part to become personal in our community again. Every school year when we get graduation, we have young people going into the military.
That's right.
From our communities. And, you know, we have parties and celebrations to send them off. But when they come back, we don't have any understanding of the experience that they have incurred.
That's right.
Now, some of that experience is good. Most of it is good. Because it offers opportunities to not only just see the world, but to get training that you could quickly transfer into civilian occupations that, you know, that
right.
high level paying jobs. So we want to make sure that our community and our family know the sacrifice that been made for all of this stuff that we get in our community. We actually have freedoms that no other country on planet Earth have because of the service of the U.S. military personnel. And I want people to understand the U.S. military is more than just a war machine. It is the first responders to natural disasters all over the planet.
That's right.
You know, and not only that, you got some good jobs in the military where you never see hazardous duty. You know, most of the military don't see hazardous duty. Only a very small fragment of the military actually go
right.
into a war situation. So we want people to understand that so we can get more clarity. So in honoring the Sons of Atlanta, we're going into the communities from which they come, the high schools from which they come, and let people know this is honoring them because of their sons, their brothers, and their fathers gave their life for the freedoms that we have. And you mentioned earlier about voting. One of the bedrocks of a democracy is to vote. And we have that freedom because of our U.S. military service. We need people to understand that we need to go vote, especially right now in the state of Georgia when we got all of this confusion going on. But numbers count. So, you know, numbers count. No matter what this toxic environment of politics is, the numbers count. We need everybody to go to the poll. And this month, go to the polls for the Sons of Atlanta. Because these young men, not most of them, died before they was 21. During the Vietnam era, now you had to be 21 before you could even vote. So most of these guys never vote. We want you to vote for them.
Okay, so what's the name of the movement again? Save Democracy Movement?
Yeah, save democracy. Because this...
You see how he did that? He signed me up for something else, right?
See, it's critical that we understand that all of this stuff that we see going on in our community, we're in it together. We can, if we unify, we can solve these problems. You know, I know that right now inflation is a big issue. Is a big issue for everybody because it hit the pocketbook. It determines. But the government don't cause inflation. Businesses do. We have to be able to look at the structure of our communities and understand that businesses, that greed is what's causing the inflation problems in our community. But, you know, I learned something during the civil rights movement. I'm not nonviolent because I'm a soldier. So, and I'm not talking about that part. Non-cooperation. Dr. King and that wonderful movement that they had going on put the bus out of business that wouldn't let Rosa Parks sit because they stopped cooperating with it. So Dr. King laid something to us we always got power over. We can determine who we buy stuff from or who we don't.
That's right.
So we're here today to say, this is the month for you to remember that freedom is not really free. And we want you to look at the faces of the young men from this city, from this county, that made the ultimate sacrifice to give you these freedoms, and go vote. And go to get now something else. You need to go buy a brick too. I mean, it just don't make much sense to me that we're the first city in the country that's doing this. That's bringing them 58,000 down to making sense. Because I know when I go to Washington, D.C., I look at the 58,000, I'm overwhelmed emotionally, and I don't know what to do. I'm standing up there, and I'm regurgitating stuff, and the only thing I can do is just run off from that memorial. It's too big. It's too encompassing. But when I know I can walk through Piedmont Park in the middle of the night by myself and look at these 240 young men knowing that they came out of this community, I'm going to feel some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get, starting in Fulton County, you know, starting in Atlanta, Georgia, my hometown, we're trying to make people feel some kind of way about military service.
That's right.
So I just want to thank you, and I want to give Tony an opportunity to kind of update us on some of the stuff where we at with this memorial, because he's the detail man. Tony can remember stuff and been put detail together. Where I'm trying to figure out what did they say. Tony, how you doing, brother?
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. But yeah, we've got an awful lot going on right now. The major thing, of course, is we met with City Representative Michael Julian Bond and Antonio Lewis. And they have proposed, as a part of Atlanta's next year's budget, to add $1.5 million toward the purchase toward the construction of this new memorial that we're building in Piedmont Park. And that's a great idea. That shows that we have councilmen within our city who care about our city and care about the citizens of the city. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, this is something they're doing to memorialize our 240 young men who paid the ultimate price. But not just them, but other veterans that are going to be putting their names in this park on those commemorative brick that everyone is going to purchase. So if you have a relative served in World War II, the Korean conflict, then this is a perfect time for you to purchase a brick in your memory or in their memory, or in your family's memory. You know, make it a major campaign. You know, as a result of COVID, a lot of the family reunions were canceled. But guess what? They're starting up again. And here's an excellent opportunity for families to get together, because we're always remembering those family members who paid the ultimate price, some in the military, some not. But here's a great way for families to get together and purchase a commemorative brick in memory of those military members of their family who paid the ultimate price, even in Vietnam or other wars. Mm-hmm. So this is a great opportunity, and the city of Atlanta is doing this to make this possible for us. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. And let me say something, Tony. You said something that's critical. And we, you know, because we are an organization that want people to understand the value of military service, we want them to also understand that there are benefits that these people have earned.
Yes.
And that's our major effort always, every day, is to make sure that veterans in the community know about these benefits, and we help them get these benefits, because these benefits enrich the veteran, his family, and the community. Now, to point to something that I really want people to start understanding, the caregivers benefit, which is one that's direly need in every family, because when one family member get to the point that they're disabled where they can't take care of themselves, the VA actually pay family members to help those veterans. People need to know this, because see, it is very difficult, and I was just sharing recently, earlier, that one of the guys that I'm asking the whole veteran community to pray for Eli, this went today, they're moving him to hospice. His family has been with him there every day. I get calls when, you know, every day somebody's there seeing about him that's a part of his family. The family need to be able to get the benefits that we earn from our military service, especially when it comes down to caring about us.
That's right.
Now, and when we can't get these benefits, you got to understand, you need to talk to the people you're electing. I was looking at the Caregivers Act. I just want to point this out. It started up under Trump, and I'm gonna say this. He a lot of good ideas came up, you know, but they all boil down to what they do in business. They look at the bottom line. The Caregivers Act excluded a whole generation of veterans. Those that didn't serve, those that served between 1975 and 2001 are not eligible for caregivers benefits until October. I did find the loophole. Until October of this year. Now this law went into effect in 2018. That means that thousands of families, literally thousands of families. And I know some in my community that could benefit from this caregivers stuff, and we need to make sure that Senator Warnoff and Nakia Williams know about this gap in the law.
Absolutely.
We need to be knowing about these gaps in the law when it comes down to making sure that we're getting the benefits that we earn, because some of those that came back messed up. You know, came back with disabilities where they have been a burden on their family ever since they got back.
They have disabilities and they don't know they have them.
And got disability they don't even know they have.
That's right.
And that the VA is not recognized. So I just want to throw that in there because we're here. We're veterans talking to veterans and the community. So we want to put out the information that you need to understand why we're here. Every Saturday evening we are here trying to make sense out of a senseless situation. Because it don't make sense when you look at the fact that less than 1% of the U.S. population ever served in the military. That's a small minority.
That's right.
And less than 10% of that population ever need the VA. But we got a $200+ billion budget.
Yes.
$200+ billion budget that we need to make sure that is being allocated back to our community fairly.
Yes.
Fairly, just fairly. We're not asking for any handouts. We are asking for what we have already earned as a community given to the U.S. military.
Yes.
Oh, I just seen some other folks come into the studio. You know, Tish. You know, I'm gonna tell you, this is another one of our co-hosts here, and she got some stuff for veterans with PTSD. I should have the package myself, but. You know.
My database is here from DC.
Okay, so we are delighted to have that, and we're gonna ask Michael to talk with them about some stuff before the program is over to make sure that information is gotten out to the community. Because see, we're not here just whining. We're here with solutions to the problem.
That's what it's all about.
we ain't crybabies. Well, maybe a little bit, but we're here with solutions. We're coming up with solutions. And I'm gonna tell you something. We got to make sure that other people understand what teaching and a few other veterans just did in Fulton County should be a template for operation to get some of the money that we pay in taxes back into the community for our causes every year. Now that RFP need to be changed, and we're gonna change it. So I want y'all to understand. I know a lot of y'all, because I was calling you, telling you to go to the website to apply for this money, and you went to the website and you said, "Oh, buddy, that's too much to comprehend." We understand that this was a first, right? So we want to salute the politicians that gave us the first, but they need to hear. We'll be back next week for some modification in the way they do this. This is Veterans Talk. Back at you, Michael.
All right. Okay. You know. I saw how you stuck that one in, but that's okay. Volunteering for something else. That's okay. I'm in, man. Both feet. My wife's watching, so I'm gonna tell you one thing, honey. I gotta make it up to you. I don't know how, but we're gonna do it somehow. I don't know. But anyway, thank you again. So one thing I do want to mention as we are having this conversation, and it goes without saying, and I think a lot of people don't really realize the importance of this, but we're erecting this memorial in Atlanta, and here's a statistic I really want you to pay attention to. So in the state of Georgia itself, we have roughly 8% of the Georgia population that actually serves in the military in one capacity or the other, right? However, 1/5 of that population comes from Metro Atlanta. So the significance of this memorial is that we have a very large population of veterans in this area who need services. And another thing that goes without saying is that one thing you have to understand about veterans and veteran service organizations is that they are here to provide services to some of the newer veterans. You need a spokesperson to speak on your behalf if you are a newer veteran, okay? And it is a succession. So you actually had individuals who served in the world wars, in the Korean War, all these other conflicts. The Vietnam veterans are that mouthpiece right now, okay? They're the individuals that are speaking for some of you younger veterans that don't know that you have benefits. That's why your involvement and your contributions and your donations are so important to this cause. And we are going to be a template for the rest of the country. Okay, we have to get this word out. It is monumental. It is important. We have to ensure that we do not leave future generations in worse conditions than we actually had today. Okay, so under those circumstances, I just want to applaud this group again for everything that they're doing. Now, in reference to some of the previous conversations that we've had, I've had the privilege over the past year of hosting these Brickathons, and some of the things that really stick out to me are just the people who volunteer their time to come and speak on behalf of veterans in the city of Atlanta and the state for that matter. So we've had the great benefit of speaking to Morocco Coleman, Councilman Antonio Brown. He actually spoke on our, on one of our Brickathons. Dr. Joyce Sly, Tony Bars, Ted Jackson, quite a few folks. Too many names for me to mention on this show right now. But one thing that you have to understand is that they have a great respect for this chapter. I have never seen a group of politicians from all walks of life ever embrace any single group like they have this group. It's infectious. It's infectious, and I say that humbly because you guys don't walk around beating your chest, talking about all these things that you've done and what you've accomplished. The truth of the matter is, I think what happens more than anything else is that they see your heart. They see your heart. They see the heart of everybody on this task force, and because of that, that's why we get the recognition that we are getting today, and that it's so greatly deserved. So now that I've said that, I do want to get back to the subject at hand. So freedom is not free, okay? You will see that inscription on this memorial, okay? You will see that inscription on this memorial, and it is important. We really have to ensure that our young people understand this. Now, above and beyond the memorial, once that's constructed, right, we have a whole bunch of other activities that are going to be happening after it's built, right?
We're excited about that part of it because it's going to give us the opportunity to go into the communities, right?
That's it.
With the junior ROTC of Fulton County,
Yes.
we've been to show these folks what we're working with.
Yes.
We're going to bring in a spirit of volunteerism in our communities.
Yes.
That's going to undermine lack and crime and division in our community. It's time for us all to recognize that we're in this together.
Yes.
This country was made great by all of us, all of our contributions together. Now I went into the military out of a segregated community. When I went into the military in 1967, I came off the west side. I had never slept in the building with a white boy before. Never slept in the building with a Mexican or an Indian, none of those.
That's right.
As soon as I got down to Fort Benning, they put me in this barrack with all of these different people. And guess what? We learned how to get along.
To coexist. That's right.
We learned how to coexist.
Yes.
And better than that, we learned how to respect each other. And to do something in common with each other to the point that we knew we could count on each other to have each other's back.
That's right.
That's the kind of America that we serve for, and that's the kind of America that we are advocating for now, because it's still there. No matter what these people that, I'm going to say so, I was fighting Russia in Vietnam.
We know it. Yep.
And I done seen them in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like it. But that came about because of the way we vote. We vote, and now we done got to toxic politics, where you got a Senate that can stop bills and negotiations and legislation that we elected people to go do for the community. We need to look at how we vote, who we voting for. You know, we get so toxic, we want to talk about the person's personality rather than talking about their politics.
If we were attacked today, whose side would you be on? I'm gonna ask you that question. Okay.
Listen, it's
So,
confusing, y'all.
you know, we sitting here fighting one another. You know, but if we were attacked today, whose side would you be on?
Whose side would you
Okay.
be? Yeah. That's a
All
good
right.
question.
So, you know, while we have all this division, you know, somebody trying to make it out of, you know, race against race and nationality against nationality and all this other stuff, you know, we got bigger fish to fry. Okay. As a world, as a country, we're slipping in so many areas. We've got to rebuild the trust of the people, but at the same time, we have to understand what's really important. Okay, so you know, we get attacked today. Are you gonna sit in your house and shoot your neighbor? Really? You know, I'm gonna be straightforward. You know, and since you opened up that can of worms, I was gonna try and keep it civil today.
You're gonna stir the pot.
But you know, we gotta understand this for what it is. As a country, we are facing inflation. We are facing, in some cases, it's, you know, rising wages. COVID taught us a big lesson. Okay,
Big.
You know, you have people leaving certain industries in droves. The restaurant industry. I actually took a chance to go out the other day with my wife, and we actually had a meal. It took us doggone an hour and 15 minutes before we got our seat. They did not have, and the restaurant was empty. They just did not have enough employees in the facility to actually service us. So we sat there and we waited because we had a real bad craving that day. But you know, that's what we're dealing with. You know, you've got a whole bunch of virtual jobs out there right now. You know, so we're seeing a group of veterans returning from the most recent, one of the longest wars we've ever fought, coming back to this country, and they need opportunities. A lot of these guys are going to be retiring. They've completed their service. They need opportunities. A lot of them don't want to go into the restaurant industry. We have to be ready for the industry of the future. I've got that business plan, but that's for another that's for another conversation. But overall, you know, it's about really understanding what's at stake. And at the end of the day, it's not about party. It really isn't about party. Okay, so all of your loyalties, you know, you know, for what it's worth, you can sit there and tell me today that it's about me against you, and it's really not. It really isn't. Because while we are sitting there here having this conversation, you have other countries that are sitting there laughing at us. Okay. And everyone sits and talks about, you know, the way we drew out of Afghanistan was just deplorable. It was just despicable, and we need to ask for resignation and all this other stuff. I said, understand something real quick, okay? I ain't no military strategist, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I know, okay? So our adversaries, you know, I ain't going to call them out by name, but just imagine if we had to be pulled into conflicts in 3 or maybe 4 different theaters around this world. Where would we be? Do we have the capacity to do that? Okay? Ask yourself that question. Okay? And you're not going to hear a politician on Capitol Hill talk about that, but I'm going to be the first to tell you. Okay? So freedom is not free. Yes, we got to be careful about who we are voting for, who we put in office, what they're saying. Do your own research and speak to people who are going to give you the unbiased, unvarnished truth about what's going on in society today. We really cannot, you know, tolerate this stuff anymore. It's, you know, we're one country. Okay, we got a dark history, and we really have to take the time to really get back to brass tacks. It's an old military phrase. This is my drill sergeant. He used to tell me all the time. But anyway, we got to get back to brass tacks. But you know, let's just move forward. You know, this monument is going to be that opportunity for us to actually heal. our city.
And bring people together.
Bring people together.
For the sacrifice of these young
Yes.
folks, man. I mean, I'm looking at, let me just shout out to Washington High School, all y'all bulldogs out there. I need you to go buy your brick. Because we got 6 people from my alumni from Washington High that were killed in Vietnam. 6. You know, so I know you're listening, Chauncey and Connie and all of you. So just tell everybody they need to go buy a brick. Now, we need to make sure that you understand the significance of what this means. We are on the verge of war because we have allowed the business pillar of our society to dictate. Period.
Yes.
We just face the fact. You know, we got into I'm a capitalist now, don't get me wrong. I ain't got no problem with being there, you know, but you got to have some morality.
Yes, there you
with
go.
That.
That's a key word.
You know, we got to have some morality.
That's
so
the key word.
The pillar of religion in our country need to wake up too. The preachers need to start preaching. You know,
The whole Bible.
The whole Bible.
Not half of it.
Not half of it.
Not the common scriptures.
Yeah, I know a lot of my preachers don't be calling me.
See,
That's
you
all
know,
right. Call me. Because I got some that won't sit next to me anyway. But that's okay. That's okay. What we're talking about today is veterans coming into your community, serving. We you know, those of us that went through the military and survived it came out with some discipline and skills. Probably one of the most skilled demographics in your community. If you're not using that manpower to bring about changes that you want to see in your community, you're missing it.
That's right.
So this is why I'm saying I want veterans to join these VSOs. Stop standing alone. You know, just stop trying to do it by yourself. You know how you did it in the military. You done had the experience to deal with all kind of people, and you did good at it. If you didn't, you wouldn't have a good discharge. They bad discharge.
That's right.
If you don't know how to behave, you don't know how to get along, they bad discharge. They first start taking a little money from you, so they get your attention real quick because you ain't making no money no way. I want to salute my grandson and all these young folks that's still serving today. And we're going to be celebrating Armed Forces Day next week down in Clayco, down there with veterans helping veterans and the Vet 22 Frontline Services.
Yes.
We're just going to come together Saturday morning, have a little powwow, and we're going to eat, and we're going to come down to the station and do another show. But if you're interested, just call me 770-895-3260, and I get you the information. In Clayco, Veterans Armed Service Day. Casual Cal and those brothers are doing this, you know. So that's when I say this is veterans talking to veterans in the community. We're talking to brothers in the community that help us, like Brother Michael, that got some connections to the military. They got family. And I want Michael to do something that I know he don't want to do, but I'm actually I want to talk about his son that's in Georgia Military College.
Oh my God!
I didn't actually meet him. I got to see him, and I did meet him online. Mm-hmm. An extraordinary future leader. You tell us about that.
Yeah, that boy has a gift. I got to tell you. You know, we actually did the one of the days we conducted the Brickathon. We did it from Milledgeville at Georgia Military College on the campus, and it was actually Parents Weekend. So the parents had an opportunity to go and spend time with the cadets on the campus and so on and so forth. But you know, my son is the announcer for all of the events at the campus, so he narrates the entire sequence of events in the whole 9 yards. And he had an opportunity to meet Reverend McGee by Zoom. However, after that, the only reason why that conversation did not go on any longer was because he had every general, admiral, you know, every dignitary just walking up to him and just congratulating him for, you know, being so well spoken and so on and so forth. So it was just a pleasure to see that. But you know, the significance of this is that, you know, the leaders of the future are looking to this generation based on our actions. What we are doing, what the community is doing, what the veterans of the past have to teach them. And I think, I know that a lot of them are really appreciative of the fact that they have a group of people so involved in such an event like this that they can look back to and say, you know what, this is what I have to look forward to in life. So I've got a series of individuals who are laying a foundation and making sure that we have succession and sustainability across the entire veteran platform, not just today, but for generations to come. So that's the significance of this memorial. Each and every day, each activity we take a part of, that's the significance of everything that you are doing, and your contributions help to ensure that we have the ability to talk about these things. This Brickathon has been enlightening for so many people. You can go to Sons of Atlanta Facebook page and you can look at some of the old recordings that we actually had. We talked about a variety of subjects, transitional housing, veterans benefits, those that you are aware of, those that you're not aware of. We talked about suicide, the very dark subject of suicide. We talked about the VA and your ability to actually get medical care, despite some of the situations that are going on today. We talked about, when we talked about veterans housing, because we have a homeless issue amongst our veterans, not just here in the city of Atlanta, but across the entire country, okay? We talked about homelessness, but we also talked about, and this was a real interesting subject for me throughout this whole journey. We talked about how to help veterans protect their credit such that when they do get their discharge, they have the ability through good credit to qualify for entrepreneurship opportunities and different types of benefits that they're not aware of. So, a conversation that I had with a couple of classmates earlier in the week, we were just generally talking about, where does that responsibility lie? So VSOs, Veteran Service Organizations, that actually are putting together programs such as this and partnering with other organizations to help really bring that home. This is the platform. This is the city. This is the project. These are the people that are actually making that happen. And before you know it, it's going to be a national. It's going to be a national event. We're really laying the groundwork and the foundation for something great here. So pay attention. Stay involved. I'm not going to ask you just to donate, but participate as well. If you've got a skill, if you have a service to offer, let us know about it, because at some point in time, we're going to see the need, but if there is a need and no one's fulfilling it, we have to create an avenue by which we can actually get those benefits out to those people, helping them understand all of the things that they're entitled to. You just have sacrificed too much for us to turn our backs, and we're just not going to stand for it. We're just not going to do it. All right. As long as I have breath, I keep saying that. As long as I have breath, I will continue to talk about it.
Well, Brother Michael, what you were pointing up is what we do, and the proof of the pudding is in the pie. Now, I was talking about earlier. Somebody just came in the studio that's a young veteran that could be doing anything. She could be modeling. She could be running an empire somewhere else. But what she doing? She's sitting on the Fulton County, the first time ever, Fulton County, Georgia, has come up with a veteran service program funding, and without Tish, this wouldn't have been possible. So and not only she's an advocate for veterans, she was an advocate for veterans before we started the pod. So this is what we were able to do. We were able to attract each other in the community.
Wonderful.
and work together. So I mean, I guess I adopted her or something. I push her out in front of the folks, and she look at me and she go do it. So I don't know what that is, but
you're not alone. You're not alone.
It is what we do together that's going to make a difference in our community.
Yes.
And we got to be able to start recognizing that. So Tish, how you doing today?
I'm great, bro. How are you?
I'm blessed, and thank you for being here. and doing. I want to hear something about the package, and I want you know, for people to be able to get this, because see, all of what we do, I'm a victim of PTSD, and I know if I didn't have help, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. It would be literally impossible if I hadn't had the treatment and the therapy that I've gotten, and it didn't all come from the VA either. It came from people in the community, you know. And
That's right.
And so I want to thank you. Can you just give us a little bit of that?
Let me, before we do that, let me give her my seat so they can see her on camera.
No, because I'm going to pass it right to my battle buddy here. So
Okay.
I want her to introduce herself because they're used to seeing my face now at this point. But she's come all the way from Washington, D.C.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
she has a plane to catch tonight. But I do want you to, I wanted you all to meet, but I wanted her to speak something as well. So we've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
Please.
Come on,
go
please.
ahead. So,
Yes.
Rev, this is Nicole, my battle buddy.
Okay, Nicole.
Awesome.
We did some tours together and we created Business of Virtue together.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to let her be the face and the voice for VOV today.
Okay.
Yes, first I just want to say it's an honor. I've been watching you guys. I've seen Trish on here numerous times, and I'm just so proud of the work that you guys are doing in the community. I mean, just to hear that this is the first time that there's a veterans program in Fulton County, I mean, it breaks my heart, but at the same time, it makes my heart. Because now I know that the attention is out there, and I know that you guys are out here working on it. Like Trish said, I came from Washington, D.C., and I mean, the fight right now on the Hill is extremely hard. We're fighting for benefits right now. We're fighting for rights. We're fighting for health care. I mean, and it's truly illuminating to hear some of the things that are going on. So just to hear that resources are coming from the community and you guys are not waiting for the federal level to make change is very impressive, because if we wait on federal, you guys ain't going to listen. We're going to be waiting a few years, because I mean, they're really not. Yeah, they're not taking the steps that we need. And what's even more embarrassing that we're recently finding out is that the VA is going through something similar to BRAC. So what we're going to start seeing is a lot of VA clinics closing. If we can't substantiate as veterans that we need this care and we need the services, it's going to start closing. But what you guys are doing right now is monumental, because what it's showing is that if we can't get the services and you want to close the clinics, then it comes down to community level and county level. And it's just so impressive, because as you guys build, I see that more money will start flowing in for veterans, and then you guys will make up the difference. So this is something that I'm going to take back with me, because it's impressive. It's impressive, and I see you guys pushing and doing the work ground level, and it's good to see, because if we can substantiate that at county level they're doing it, then why aren't they doing it at state? What's taking us so long at federal level? And I can tell you, even through sitting in some of the congressional hearings, that they're not hearing us. It's everyone just wants to have a name, and if their name is not on it, they won't approve it. So
And
you're
coming from a place where if the Democrats is for it, the Republicans are against it. If the Republicans are for it, the Democrats are against it. We don't send them up there to do that. You know, and that's where it becomes local.
Yep.
It becomes local, so we can give people a reason to vote.
Yes.
You know, because all this is connected to the vote.
Sure.
You know, if you don't get the right people in there, and then too, even if your candidate don't win, the candidate that win is your servant. We have to make sure people understand that. We don't care if your candidate don't win.
Right.
Whoever wins is your servant. That's who works for you. You know, that's who your taxpayer money is paying for. They need to listen to you.
Sure.
But more than that, you need to make them listen to you.
Exactly.
That's right.
And I can tell that you guys are doing that just by the change that I'm starting to see with the monuments and just what you guys are doing. I'm just so impressed, and we need to make this an example, because if this is what's happening county level, then imagine what could happen state level and how the funding could go, especially into the areas that need it most. So with that, we have noticed, Trish and I have an organization called Veterans of Virtue. And what we've noticed is that not only is depression on the rise post-pandemic, not only is PTSD on the rise, not only is suicide on the rise, But no one's out here letting these new millennial veterans, especially your 21-year-olds that are coming out right now, know that they have a support channel. And while we do have the VSOs, which are legacy organizations such as your VFW and your DAV, things like that, you know, they're not seeing themselves in these organizations. So what we have decided to do was to reach out any type of way nationwide and let these veterans know, here is a packet that can support you. This has information in it, and it's also holistic. So what we've been doing to support our veterans who have PTSD and who are, you know, just struggling from not having jobs, not having money, not having housing, what we're doing is trying to support them, and we want to include resources. So what we created were these packets here, which this one's for you, Brad. We brought this specifically for you, but they're holistic in nature. And this one doesn't have the other organizations' information in it, but what we have are calm mindfulness cards to read and just to calm yourself down and come back down to reality. We have a card in here that offers peer support. So if you're lost or you don't know what is available to you as far as organizations or what's in your community or who's out there to support you, you're able to go onto our website and we offer those things. We also have holistic natural stress support pills. So when you're feeling stressed out and you just feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, we have something that can help that is holistic with no chemicals, because as you know, our veterans have been exposed to many chemicals from the VA with Big Pharma with their hands in the VA services, and even down to where we've fought in war. I know people who were in Iraq with us that were exposed to chemicals that we weren't even aware. We've drank tainted water, kidney failure, liver failure. We weren't told about these things. Just like Agent Orange, it took only about 35 years for them to even approve Agent Orange. And we had so many veterans dying from that. So when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, we have something to calm you down. And we also have essential oils in here, which are proven scientifically to help with the stress reduction and to calm your mood and to help with anxiety. So on top of that, like I said, we generally add in a resource packet with information. So we'd have the VA, we'd have whatever organizations send us over their pamphlets, and we include it because there should not just be access to just the veteran service organizations. They're legacy organizations, so we're fully aware of them. But what else is out there? Who else is in this community that can support us? And I think that's important, because as things start to go downhill with the VA and as we start to lose services because we're losing more veterans and we're not bringing more in, we're going to have to find a way to each one teach one and support each other.
That's right.
And so I just, freedom's not free. And I think that's important that you brought that up. Yeah. So
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I just coming
awesome.
from DC and up there where the fight is, I'm telling you guys what you're doing is extremely important, and I'm humbled and I'm so thankful to see what you guys are doing.
Let me say this: we do this every week, so you can come back again every Saturday, 4 to 5 o'clock.
Be careful now.
Talk. it ain't nothing but a thing, but it's our thing.
Yes.
And we're gonna work it until we get some results.
Yes.
That's why we're here. We veterans talking to veterans and the community, and we're bringing our case.
Yeah.
And I think we laid out pretty good. So thank you,
Absolutely.
the audience, for coming.
Thank you so
Thank you, Dr. Pollard, for coming, and thank
Anytime.
you for being here. And naturally, for the audience, we want you to keep coming back, because every week we are here doing the same thing we're trying to do, is make sense out of a sensitive situation. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.